What's going on, Gifted Hands family? It is Elijah here bringing you another lesson, and today we're going to be talking about D flat major theory and harmony. We're back and we're going to continue this series on. I got so much feedback, so much love and response from the C major harmony and theory video that I did that I just decided to make this a whole series, and we're going to hit all 12 keys. I don't know how long it's going to take us. It might be a couple months to make it through all 12, but I'm going to do a lesson on each specific key for my Gifted Hands family out there, all right? So, like I said, today we are in D flat, so let's jump right into it. We're talking about D flat major theory. So this is going to be, if you want to get more comfortable with playing in the key of D flat, these are the steps that you can follow to get more comfortable playing in D flat. Or if you already are comfortable with playing in D flat, you feel like you got the key down, but you want something that's going to give you that extra sauce, that extra spice and flavor when you're playing in D flat, maybe some chords that are outside, like out the key of D flat, but can fit into songs that are in the key of D flat, if that makes sense. I'm going to teach you all that today. We're going to talk about it, all right? So, first thing, if you want to get comfortable with playing in D flat, is knowing your major scale. So, D flat major scale, super simple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, that's our D flat major scale. Just two white notes, F and C. Everything else is flat. We hit all our black notes. Okay. So that's our D flat major scale. After you get comfortable with that, you want to play that up and down the piano, all different types of patterns, shapes, forms, and fashions. Get comfortable with that. After you learn the D flat major scale, then you want to practice and get comfortable playing your diatonic chords for D flat. And diatonic chords just means that any major key, any major scale that you're playing, there are 7 associated chords, or 7 chords that belong to that key. So for D flat major, we'll have the 1 chord, the 2 chord, the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. Those are our diatonic chords. So get comfortable with playing those, right? And then after that, you have to learn, if you get comfortable with playing that, you want to learn your cycle of fifths. That is a progression just based off of fifths in any key. So for D flat major, we're going to start on the 2. So our cycle of fifths goes like this: 2, 5, 1, 4, 7, 3, 6. One more time. 2, 5, 1, 4, 7, 3, 6. All right, and I'm having fun with that progression. You know, I'm not necessarily playing it diatonically, but that is the basic. 2, 5, 1, 4, 7, 3, 6. Learn that progression. So there's a bunch of different ways that you can play that specific, the cycle of fifths progression. I'm not going to go into all the different ways and go into detail today. If you want more information on that, and really, because you should learn those progressions in every single key, all 12 keys, it will definitely help your playing. Any musician, any student of mine, I tell them, hey, learn the diatonic chords, learn the cycle of fifths in every single key. It's a must. It'll help you playing overall. So if you want more information on that, and a breakdown, kind of step-by-step of how to play that in every single key, check out our Gospel Keys Masterclass. The link will be in the description. Check that out. And I go into detail. I take my time and explain it in every single key, starting from C, going all the way up. We talk about it in every key for the diatonic progression, the 1 through the 7, and then the cycle of fifths progression as well. Check out the Gospel Keys Masterclass. Great resource. All right, but back into this. So we got our major scale. We got our diatonic chords, and we have our cycle of fifths progression. So after you get that, then we can start jumping into some songs, right? So we want to learn some songs and figure out what can we do to D flat to make it sound a little saucy. So for this lesson, we're going to be looking at the song There Is None Like You. We're going to use that as a song example and figure out how we can add to the key of D flat, all right, and really get comfortable with playing in this key. So There Is None Like You kind of just goes like this. I'll play the basic form of the song. We got 1. There is none. 5/7 like you. To the 2. No one else can touch my heart like you do. 5 to the 1. I can search for all eternity long and find there is none like you. All right, so that's pretty much the basic version of There Is None Like You. So what's going on here? We just went to the 1, there's none like you. 5 over 7, we're walking it down to the 6, right? Then we go to the 2, no one else can touch my heart like you do, to the 5. Then we're going to the 1. I can search for all. And this is just the way I play it. There's a bunch of different ways to play it, but this will be the basic way. 1, I can search, 5 over 7, and then we'll do eternity. So we're gonna play the 1 over the flat 7 in our left. So the flat 7, once again, if you know your key of your scale for D flat major, it's pretty simple to find the flat 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Our 7 is C, so the flat 7 is gonna be A. We're gonna flat the 7, literally. We'll lower it a half step. So 7, here's the flat 7, B. And we're adding that in there, which is really outlining our 1 chord, D flat, as a dominant, eternity long. And we're gonna go to the 4 over 6. And fine, to the 2. There is none, 5 like you. All right, so that's our basic song. So what can we do in D flat to add to it, to embellish this song, to make it sound bigger and better? So there's 3 steps that most of the time I'm going to follow, and I think that would be easy for anybody to understand. Is going to be that the first step is to just take the chords that are already there and figure out ways to embellish them, right? So embellishing the chords just means you can add extensions to your chords. You can change up the chord voicings. You can invert them. You can change up the order of notes, taking what's already there and just expanding on it, right? So maybe instead of playing like basic major chords, I'm extending my chords and I'm playing like major 7s now and major 9s, and I'm just adding more color tones to the chord. There is none. Same chords, 5 over 7. I'm just adding in extra notes. My 5 chord is A flat, right? So I'm gonna add in the 9th to A flat. Adding in those extra notes, like you. And then maybe we could do something like that. So 1. There is none like you. All right, so here we are. We're on the 6. The 6 is B flat minor, right? But just from like studying theory, we know, hey, I could take the 5th of this 6 chord and I could raise it. Just simple, adding that 1 extra note. And that just gives me a nice little bit of tension in that chord. Right? That's a 6. And then let's go to the 2. No one else. So here's my 2 chord. I can play that as a minor 7, or I can take that same concept that I did from the 6. Raise the 5th. I can do the same thing on the 2. I can do that. Or even we could just change the 2 chord from a basic minor 7 to a minor 6 chord now. We can add the 6 in. We're just embellishing. We're taking the chords that are already there and we're changing them up just a little bit. All right, so let's keep it moving. Let's see what else we got. There is none like you. All right, that's just an embellishment. I'm taking the chords and taking a minor chord, the 2 chord, walking it up chromatically, walking that 5th up till I get to the 6 of my minor chord. No one else can touch my heart like you do. So now we're filling up some of that dead space. Whereas we're just playing the basic chords. Now I'm just gonna start trying to travel from chord to chord, right? There is none like you. No one else. So instead of staying on the 2, we'll hit the 2. And then let's move up. No one else, 1 over 3, can touch my heart. 4, like you do. 5, and let's keep walking it up. 6, 7, 1. I can search for all eternity long and find there is none like you. All right, so we're just taking the chords that are there, and we're, like I said, we're trying to figure out different ways to voice them or even extend them and manipulate them to sound a little bit more advanced, a little bit more full. And then as well, taking the chords that are there and plus maybe just adding in some extra chords to take us from chord to chord. And so that's pretty much step 2, is we can start adding passing chords into our progression. So even in D flat, let's add some passing chords to D flat. 1, there is none like you. And then we're going from the 6 to the 2. So what can I add to the 6 to pass me to this E flat chord? Let's do it. There is none like you. No one else can. We could do something like that, which would just be a secondary dominant. So if we're going to E flat minor, I'm going to throw in a dominant chord that's going to take me to E flat minor. So the dominant chord, it has to be a fifth away from the chord that we want to go to. So E flat's the target chord. What's a fifth away from E flat? B flat, the 6. So we just play a 6th dominant chord. And here's my basic dominant chord. But I can replace a basic dominant chord with an altered or extended chord. So maybe instead of playing this, I want to add, instead of the 5th, maybe I want to add the 6th or the 13th. And then I could add maybe like a flat 9. Here's the 9th of my B flat chord. So let's make it flat. So that's going to be our chord on the 6th. Let's try it all together. There is none like you. 2. Woo. All right. And then let's keep going. No one else can touch my heart like you do. All right. So here's another passing chord. This is a passing chord, a G minor 7 flat 5, G half diminished. And it'll take me to the 5 chord, which is where I'm going. And then we could do maybe, or we could just do 5. So heart like you do, 5. Let's do 5 dominant, 1. And then we're going, continuing on the progression. We could do that, or we could do no one else can touch my heart like you do. Something like that, which would be 5 heart like you do. This is a what we would call a tritone substitution, because I can play a 5 to get back to the 1. So instead of playing the 5, I'm gonna substitute it for a chord that's a tritone away. So what's a tritone? Is 3 whole steps. So from here to here is 1 whole step, here to here's 2 whole steps, here to here's 3 whole steps. So I'm gonna play a D dominant chord, and that's a substitute for my 5 chord. So, all right, and let's keep it moving. I can search for all eternity long. And so we could do that, or I like, maybe let's do something different. Let's see. No one else can touch my heart like you do. I can search for all eternity long. We could do something like that. How do we know how to play all that? So let's analyze the progression. We're doing I can search for all eternity long. So the last chord that we're playing, essentially where we're trying to go, is the 6th chord, B flat minor, right? So really I can play any progression. It doesn't matter what the progression is, as long as I get to B flat minor. It don't matter. I'm just trying to make it to B flat minor. So I don't have to necessarily stay in the key of D flat to get to B flat minor. So what I could do is, I can search 7 for all 3. Turn 6. And then I'm back at the chord that I was trying to get to, right? So 1, and then this is a passing chord to take me to the 7. Okay. And then let's keep it moving. Where are we going next? And find to the 2. So let's create some type of progression to get us to the 2. We're on the 6. What if we do like kind of a churchy dominant walk up? Something simple. So 1, I can search for all eternity long and find. So we're doing this to get to the 2. And that's not in the key of D flat. So what do we just do there? So I can search, we'll just keep it simple. 7, 3 to the 6. Eternity long. Then let's do here. This is a walk up to the 2. So we just left the key of D flat. Why does that work? Because we know that we're trying to get to the 2 chord. E flat is the 2 chord, right? So we can temporarily ignore our key that we're in, D flat, just to transition. Only when we're transitioning. Like if we leave permanently and we don't ever come back, it's gonna sound weird. Like, right, if I do, I can search for all eternity long and find there is none like you. Like, I can't just leave and stay gone. I gotta come back home, which is D flat. But I can temporarily leave home to, you know, take a little trip, whatever, go pick up some snacks, and then come back to D flat, right? So, I can search for all eternity long. Let's leave and find all to get to back to home, which is E flat minor, the 2 chord. We're home. There is none. Then let's loop it. There is none. Ooh. There is none. Something like that. All right, so let's go over that. So we know search for all eternity long. We walk it up to the 2. There is none. 5. And then sometimes we vamp this song, right? So we just go to the 3. There is none. To the 2. There is none like you. So if we're gonna vamp it and we're gonna repeat that end section, we could do something like and find there is none. We're going to the 3, but let's just change up the chord quality a little bit. We're on the 3, which is in the key. The 3 chord belongs to the key of D flat, but we can change up the chord quality. We don't necessarily have to play diatonically. We can switch to a chord that sounds, that has more tension. So this chord, this half diminished, F minor 7 flat 5, has a little bit more tension. There is none. To the 6. 3. There is none. And the 6 is minor, right? But once again, let's substitute it for something that has a little bit more tension. So 3. There is none. Sus. 6 sus. B flat sus. To a type of dominant chord. Dominant chords are more, they have more dissonance. So they want to transition. They make you feel like you need to move from that chord. 6. 2. There is none. 3. There is none. Okay. So we did 3 again. There is none. Sus again. Dominant. Now let's leave the key. Let's just reharmonize. Now we're gonna go crazy. No, not really crazy, but we're gonna do something different. Let's just go to the flat 7. So now I'm leaving the key of D flat. But why does this work? So we're still, anytime that you want to add extra chords and don't necessarily belong to a key, you can, but you need to keep the melody line. If I'm going to play something that don't belong to the key that I'm playing in, that belongs to D flat, I'm going outside of the key, I need to make sure that the melody line for my song still fits into the chords that I'm playing. That's the only way it's going to sound good. Okay? There is, this doesn't belong to D flat either. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a sharp 5. That's not in the scale. But what? The melody line is there is. So I made these 2 notes. I made this melody note and the bass note match up by playing a dominant chord. There is to the 5. Now we're back in the D flat. None like you. There is none like you. No one else can touch my heart like you do. I can search for all eternity long and find there is none. There is none. There is none like you. All right, so that's pretty much it. That's all we got for today. Before I end, I'll give you just a cool little ending that you can do. So we've kind of talked about the diatonic chords. We know we need to learn those first, but let's just go out of the key real quick for this song. We said the N, we're vamping it. 3, there is none. 2, there is none. 5, 3, there is none. There is none like you. Remember we said we can leave the key if the melody line stays in whatever chord we're trying to play, right? So let's say we want to do something weird. We could do, there is none. We're getting ready to end the song. Like you. Whew. So why does that work? You. That works because my melody line is the 1, D flat, right? So now, technically I can play any chord with a D flat in it. This ain't in the key, but it has D flat in it. This ain't in the key, but it has D flat in it. This is in the key of D flat. This isn't in the key of D flat, but it has a D flat in it. This is in the key D flat, the 2 chord. This isn't in the key, but we still got that D flat in there. Really, like I said, any chord. Now, of course, it comes to musical taste and what's going on in whatever atmosphere you're playing in. You might not want to do all that, but the options and possibilities are endless when it comes to chords that we can play, even when we're confined to the key of D flat. And I just wanted to open up some possibilities, open up some doors, and kind of show you some stuff maybe that you hadn't seen before, maybe that you did, but you just needed a refresher on. All right. So I hope y'all enjoyed this lesson. Hope you got something from it. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let me know in the comments what key you want to cover next. I might go in half steps, just go up piano. We might just jump around. We'll see what happens. But hey, till next time, y'all, have a blessed day. Keep practicing, keep growing, keep getting better at your craft, and I will see you all very soon.